Okay, here we go. Dad Pod. Have been canceled.
Haven't been canceled, but to be fair, the Kirk stuff hasn't dropped yet, so we'll see.
That's true. Once the Kirk stuff drops, maybe we say it's nice knowing you and we have like a Dad Pod farewell, but yeah.
One of two things is going to happen with us, right? Jeff and I have been inspired to bring more civil discourse. We can still have fun. I still like fart jokes and I still think dick jokes are funny. But we want to be less accusatory and more understanding, more empathetic. Jeff, were you popular in high school?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Through sports, or just were you class clown? Were you the funny guy?
I was through sports. I played football. And also, I really didn't have one clique. My buddy Sean Kutry and I and Todd Drennan were thick as thieves. But also, I was just friends with a bunch of different, like the leaders of the cliques I was friends with as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't...
Guys on social media get really offended when you say the word leader of the group.
Really?
There was a whole social media thing like 2 years ago where girls were like, I'm only attracted to guys who are the leader of their friend group. And of course, you know, as the nerds of the world are wont to do, they made a bunch of videos like, the leader of the friend group. We don't, and it's like, well, no, every group I've ever been in had a leader. That's just men put themselves in a hierarchy, right?
And so to answer your question, was I the most popular? No. Was I popular, like name recognition? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever find yourself hanging around the popular girls? Which just usually consisted of a combination of like cheerleaders, the hot slutty girls, like that.
Man, I wish we had hot slutty girls when I was in school. There was hot ones, they weren't slutty, and then there was the slutty ones that weren't hot. So pick your poison.
Yeah, but you know what I'm talking about. That group of girls that was like,
to some extent, yes, but not like for lack of a better term, balls deep. No.
Okay. Did you ever watch the movie Mean Girls?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
Because Mean Girls was, again, written by a woman, so please, before you start hurling the, sexism insults, Tina Fey wrote Mean Girls, and it's the most accurate description of the popular friend group. The reason I'm asking you about this is not just to dig deeper into your high school pastime, which
Academy.
I always find it fascinating.
Go Braves.
Right? It's to say this. Social media is girl world. And there's a reason why men find social media so frustrating. It's that on social media, everyone's looking to capitalize on your failures. So everything becomes this inauthentic. You ever seen the female influencer girl? There's this guy in New York, this Indian guy in New York who makes fun of these girls where he's like, oh my God, guys, come with me to check out this Italian restaurant, right? And we all can't stand that influencer girl who pretends that her whole life is perfect. But I have empathy for those women, right? Because they're never allowed, in girl world, you're not allowed to have flaws. You're not allowed to show your weak moments or weak points. Everything has to be artificial and look perfect all the time.
Well, you can you can't empathize with them because you're not a hot girl. You can sympathize with them, but you can't have empathy for them.
Hey, look.
Unless you've got a really good doctor that took care of you for a transition, you cannot empathize with a hot social media girl. Sorry, I love you, but no.
Okay, that's fair.
Sympathy, yes. Empathy, no.
You're okay. Sympathy.
Yes.
Well, no.
Because if not, you'll get skewered. You'll get skewered by people.
I can't empathize because a lot of my world has become social media, right? And no one wants to judge me for the good things it's what frustrates me the most about social media is like, I don't want to stick a camera in the face of every homeless guy I give money to. I don't want to hold my camera up every time I tip a waiter $100, right? To me, that's artificial. That's fake. But on social media, that's what gets views and clicks. It's some guy walking up to a homeless guy and being like, hey, I'm going to cut your hair and I'm going to show the whole world every second of it. Or, hey, watch me go out and do this, right? It's like, it causes me to be cynical. I want to watch you do a good thing, but if you constantly film you doing good things, now I'm like, okay, well, are you doing it for the camera?
What's your motivation?
What's your motivation? And there's no way to avoid it.
Okay.
Right? There's no way to avoid it. We as humans inherently distrust something that's always good. Right?
Well,
what the hell?
Oh, no.
This is supposed to be on focus.
Getting back to your original point about social media is girl world. I'm in social media, and there are two types of influencers, air quotes, on social media that are girls. There's the ones that are incredibly hot and don't say a word because they don't have to.
Of course.
They don't have to. They could just be sipping a cup of, matcha.
Anything.
Or eating a little wafer thin cracker.
As long as the camera is aimed
is
at
boobs up.
Yeah, perfect.
Is boobs up.
Yeah.
Oh, or they're doing, it's glute day at the gym. But every day is fucking glute day at the gym for these girls. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the one type. Then there's the ones, and this is rare, and these are the ones I personally love, the ones that can speak, the ones that are articulate.
Yeah.
They're intelligent. They have a thought about something, and it's not just some shallow thing that they're weighing in on. They're going hard in the paint on, and it could be food, but it's something that they feel passionate about.
Yeah.
That, in terms of the female demographic on social media, I'm more drawn to that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sapiosexual. I'm more drawn to someone that's going to tell me a story.
But nothing,
with passion.
But it never feels genuine or authentic. Right?
Hmm?
It always feels staged, well thought out, well planned. What I'm trying to get at is there's no room for failure in girl world. None. If you lined up 100 boyfriends and husbands and asked them their girlfriends and wives' biggest fear, it would be the fear of failing. Why don't you try this new thing? I'm afraid of failing. Why don't you do this? I don't want to look bad. I don't want to look bad. I don't want to fail, right? And what a relationship is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, every man is trying to pull his partner out of girl world and into our world, reality, where you don't get things because of how you look, right? Like, that's what we're all trying to do is, I know I did that with my wife, right? I pulled her out of the world of gossip and being afraid of failure and being afraid of being yourself. And I pulled her into my world where failure is an everyday occurrence, and that's how we grow and get better. Would you say that's accurate? Would you say that's something you had to do in your current relationship?
No. But also, I think it's because it's the age difference. Like, I'm in my mid 50s. My wife is her birthday is on Saturday, actually, is next week. She'll be 45. And for us, it's more when you're, at least I can't speak for my wife. I'll speak for me and how much I love her, is that I've been there, done that already. There's so many experiences and just experiences with people, good, bad, and ugly, that it was refreshing to be with somebody who just loved me for me. I didn't have to try to do anything with her except love, honor, and respect her and cherish her. The worst thing my wife can say to me is, what you did makes me feel bad, or that made me feel bad. That crushes me.
Okay, so your wife...
So then I course adjust. And the rare times, luckily, it's been rare when that happens. When it does, I course adjust to make sure that she feels loved, honored, respected, and cherished.
Okay. So you're currently married to somebody who's already out of girl world,
Correct.
right? And I've met your wife, and she's been out of girl world. In fact, she just sent Jeff a video of her making him a royal buffet spread with like 8 different kinds of pancakes. So like she's far out, right? But I would say to our average young male or even guy in his 30 listeners, their biggest frustrations that they vent to us, and if you go on social media, you're seeing it, is there's these 2 worlds on social media. There's people who showing you what life actually looks like. And then there's people showing you like a perfectly curated, customized version, you know, where people on social media are so hypercritical that you're actually encouraged to not engage with them. My whole life, I always wondered, why don't celebrities just engage with their fans more? It feels like why don't I see The Rock just like drinking at a bar? Like what, who cares? Like just be normal. But then I realized all it takes is for one person to catch The Rock too drunk or maybe saying the wrong thing about the wrong person. And now the next day on social media, The Rock hates blah, 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 right? And we hold anybody we see on to such like a high standard that it's actually not worth even engaging with people anymore.
I'm tired more often now.
Yeah.
And I'm dealing with some health stuff. That's probably why. But I also, with people that clap back at me in the comments, when I first started doing this years ago, I would clap back at them. And up until a few months ago, I'd clap back at them. But now I just block them. I don't have the patience anymore for that. And I think that until you hit your late 40s, definitely in your 50s, you are a work in progress. And if you're in your 20s or 30s, 20s especially, you can go share all the content you want to, but don't tell me that you've mastered anything in your 20s, because you have not. You're not going to prove to me that you are. There's nothing you can show me. I don't care how much money you have in your bank account. I don't care of how you look physically. No, you are a work in progress when you're in your 20s, 30s, into your mid 40s.
Yeah.
Physically, spiritually, psychologically. You are a work in progress and you are refiner's fire. You're just trying to get better every day. And kids call it the grind. I don't want to grind anything. I don't want to grind anything. But I want to have a sense of urgency. If I have the energy to get a certain task done, whether it's for myself or someone else, that's okay. And if I want to document that on social media, okay. If I think my audience is going to enjoy that. But for the most part, I don't get motivated by a 24-year-old driving a Lamborghini with a 6-pack. Does nothing for me.
Yeah.
Or even an attractive girl at Glute Day at Lifetime Fitness. That does nothing for me.
Sure, because we're not in that dating market, right? But we both have businesses that are tied to and attached to what we say and do on social media, right? And what I loved about TikTok when it first started was it felt like this free-for-all, right? Detached from, because at the time, Instagram had become really like photos. You needed you had to have an aesthetic on your social media profile. I remember my wife created one for her Lash page, and she had to have the perfect, I'm going to do a Victorian aesthetic and all my pictures. And I'm like, this is so fucking lame. This is girl world, dude. When I was in high school, now what you guys see me now is like this fat dude with a weird haircut, right? But in high school, I grew to 6'2" my sophomore year, and I played football, and I got to play varsity football. So from a very young age, I went from a super chubby nerd to like on the varsity football team, right? And so it was like a whirlwind for me to like spend time with groups I never got to spend time with. And I very quickly realized the way to stay popular, and it's something I fight to this day, I've actually never told anybody this. I fight the urge to have a cocktail personality to this day. Because what I learned in high school is if you want to be popular, you must always just give people what they want. You must curate your every action, word, and decision around making other people comfortable and happy, right? And I fight the urge today. I know when I'm talking to anybody, I know what they want me to say. I know how they want me to behave. I know how to make them like me, right? But I started to feel unhuman, right? I'm just this, and I said, is this what girls feel like on an everyday basis? Having to fake it, that's why I used the word empathy earlier. I'm not a hot girl, but I know what it feels like to have to fake it to survive.
I am not a fan at all of the term fake it till you make it. I hate that. I hate that. I think that we're all working on ourselves, always.
Okay.
When we're younger, we're working much harder on ourselves because we just have lack of life experience.
True.
Right? And as you get older, you still are, but not as much. Like right now, where I'm at, I'll be 56 in another month and a half. I think mentally, I'm pretty good. Am I the smartest guy in the room? No. Am I one of the smartest? Probably. And I'm okay with it. I say it with all humility, but I can hold a conversation. If you put me in a cocktail party with 100 different people of different backgrounds, I can talk to every single one of them for at least 5 minutes.
Me too.
Right?
Quick aside. I don't think 18-year-olds should be able to vote. Like I remember who I was at 18 and my vote was useless. It was. I was so uninformed. I had no real life experience, right? And I've talked about with you previously prior. Do you agree with me on that? Because we both don't think that at 16, 17, 18, we know anything enough. We're too busy working on ourselves to try to think about the outside world, right? And so much of politics is not just thinking about how you feel, but what's best for other people. Do you think at like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, we know enough about other people and how, like, what does Jeff Fargo from upstate New York know about what the guy in Mississippi needs for to survive in America?
18-year-old Jeff Fargo?
Yeah.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Right? Anyways, continue. I'm sorry. It's just an aside that hit me that I thought the audience would find interesting. I think it's really weird. Like, again, I'm not trying to take away anybody's vote. Please don't. I'm just thinking at 18 years old, my vote was useless. That's all.
You're fine. It is, when we're younger, we need to be working on ourselves. And that's where I think that the challenge, especially now with current events that's happened, is people either sit back and say, oh, poor me, and I'm going to let the government take care of me, and I'm going to blame this person, and it's this person's excuse, and I'm having a bad day because of this. Or it's, you know what, I'm having a bad day, but I'm going to pick myself up from my bootstraps, and I'm going to make myself better. Whether it's physically, I'm going to go to the gym, or it's spiritually, I'm going to go to the church. I'm going to go to a church and become spiritually nourished. Or psychologically, I'm going to read books more or listen to books on tape. Or the most important one to me is be in a relationship with somebody where you are completely and utterly honest with them about everything.
Okay.
Like, how many people can say that, like, that their spouses have their passcode to their phones? Not a lot. I bet if we did a survey of 100 guys to say, how many of you're in a committed relationship or you're married, your girlfriend or wife knows your code to get into your phone?
I would say married men would, I think married men would skew higher than people think. And I think guys who are just dating, or what they call situationships nowadays, they don't call it dating anymore, by the way, Jeff. We've moved past that.
Oh, sorry.
Situationships.
It's true.
I think that would skew way lower than people would ever be comfortable with.
And so it would be, this would be a good clip, and to post it as, and I'll post it with a poll to go, does your spouse...
Drop the clip. Let's do it.
Does your other half have access or know your your code. My wife does. And if she doesn't, I remind her every time, or I give her my phone to text somebody, and I let her look at all my photos, whatever, my search history. I don't care.
Yeah.
When you've reached that level in a relationship, and this is the first time I've ever been in a relationship like that, it's nirvana. You have reached Valhalla of relationships when you can actually give your phone to your spouse, and she can go in any widget, any social media app, anything at all, and see what you've been doing or where you're at.
Well, it's reverse it, because the whole thing is why, we live in girl world, right? I think guys have less to hide on their phones. I remember being a single guy, and my ultimate test when I was a single guy would be if a girl left her phone on the table, I would very slowly just reach for it and see how she reacted.
Really?
Oh, I think it's the ultimate test. I think it's the ultimate test for a guy. It's something so small, but it tells you so much, right? What good church-going girl would be afraid of you? Now, okay, let me rephrase this, because then we're going to get in the comments. I'm not trying to say girls who go to church are better.
You're fine.
But name a good girl, a morally upstanding girl, whether she goes to church or not. What morally upstanding girl would panic if you came for her phone? What could be on your phone that's so scary, right? Now, again, everybody has reasons to privacy. You shouldn't be, you don't need to scroll through somebody's text. On the other end, what do I need to go through your phone for? Why would I need to be that curious? For me, I didn't want to actually go through the phone. It was just a test to see how quickly she would react. And we all know why she's reacting that way. There's something she doesn't want you to see, which is most likely her talking to other guys or whatever, But that need to hide who you really are is what I hate the most about girl world. Just hop back in that time machine, back to when I was first meeting these quote unquote popular girls. You know what I found out? When I would actually spend time with them away from the group, they were awesome. They were funny. They were weird. They liked music that wasn't just Taylor Swift. They had these quirky, weird personalities. And I would always ask them, hey, why don't you act like this? All the time. And teenagers in general don't know how to explain they don't know how to articulate. They don't have the self-awareness to articulate why they're behaving the way they do. But they knew that kind of behavior is shunned in girl world. It's not appreciated. You don't get appreciated for being special or different. You don't. You get appreciated for, do you know who Sabrina Carpenter is? That cappuccino girl? No, damn. Name a female singer that's a pop star that's ugly. These are, think about this. These are women who are supported majority by women. How they look shouldn't matter, right? I think guys, think about your favorite female artist. I don't give a shit what they look like, right? I don't give a shit if they're hot, if they're fat, if they're ugly, if they're skinny. I just want you to make good music, right? But you look at the most popular female artists in the world, Beyoncé, Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Cardi B, you name it. They all have to appeal to a beauty standard upheld on them by girl world, right? And what frustrates me, and we just had a previous podcast about this, about how you and I are trying to live in a world that's more fair and more just. And I don't think it's possible in girl world.
I think it's extremely challenging for girls, because you just said, name an ugly pop star. I can't, but name an ugly male pop star. Jelly Roll, Mick Jagger, Freddie Mercury.
All of them. Lil Wayne is fucking hideous.
Awful.
These dudes are ugly. That's why they become famous in the first place, right? They're hideous. They're hideous. Well, hideous is wrong. They're not hideous. I'm hideous. These people aren't
You're not
hideous.
hideous. Stop it. Stop with the negativity.
Well,
Stop it.
We have to get ahead of our comment section. Right?
Stop. No, you don't. Don't worry about it. Don't even reference the comment section anymore. Just talk to me.
Well, I
Fuck
am, but it exists, right?
Fuck them.
The point still stands. Self-deprecation aside. We don't hold men to those standards because we know we're flawed. You only got to where you're sitting through a series of failures.
Correct.
Consistent, everyday failures.
Absolutely right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How do we relay that message to people who, from an early age, I'm talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, refuse failure, will warp reality. You know, there's a running joke on social media about accountability being kryptonite, right? How do we communicate as people who only exist through failure? How do we communicate with a group of people who have run from it their entire life?
I think of it more of not pushing our message on them to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's how do you find the need of what they're looking for and what they desire to listen to and to watch in terms of content.
Okay.
So it's more of instead of pushing onto them, it's pull. And that they're the ones looking for us. That the people that are out there in the world right now, because we're so fractionalized now, left versus right. What about people in the middle that are still like, man, I'm just scared right now. I'm scared with all I see is this person hating on this person and this person doing awful things. What about those people?
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. You actually prompted me into the point I was trying to get to. Is there any woman in the world who would be okay with you telling them she's average looking?
No.
Is there any woman okay with you telling her she's a 5?
No.
Does middle ground exist in girl world? You see where I'm going with this? Because girl world doesn't just exist on social media. Social media is just a funhouse mirror reflection of the actual world. In politics today, in politics as we know it, the reason there is no middle ground is because both sides are catering to girl world. And hey, listen, quick clarification. I know when I say girl world, I mean feminine world. There's plenty of guys I know that are feminine. This does not just relate to women. There's plenty of dudes who love girl world, who fit in girl world, right? And so when I say people are catering to girl world, I mean they're catering to this identity.
To answer your question about how many girls would be okay with me calling them a 5, that's different than I look at it as how many of those girls think they're a 5 when they're home alone and they're watching social media and they're looking at Beyoncé videos and everything else. Because if you look at, if not, look at all the filters that girls put on themselves, or make the makeup industry, fashion industry.
From my experience, and I would love, matter of fact, I'm going to jot this in our notes because when we have our first female guest on the show, I would like to bring this back up. From my personal experiences, befriending women throughout my entire life, I still have great girlfriends to this day. What I have noticed is they think they are uglier than they are, or they think they're prettier than they are. There's no middle ground.
Okay.
What I have noticed about girl world is it's 0 or 10. When I go to review a restaurant, no one wants me to say, nobody in the comment section ever says, this place is pretty good. It's either this place is overrated and sucks, or this is the best place in the world. It's girl world. Everything in girl world is either a 0 or a 10. You're either the best guy she's ever met or you're a loser nobody. There's nobody in her universe who sits in the middle, right? There's no 5. The number 5 does not exist in girl world. So when you say the word moderation, that's your masculinity speaking. Every dude I know, we're going to get in so much trouble for this. Most dudes I know would rather date a 5 or a 6. Because at least they know they're with somebody who's realistic. At least they know. Most guys I know want their life to be a 5. When you wake up every day, what you just want is a fucking average day. You want to make it through your day, right? You're not looking for a 0. You're not looking for a 10. You just want a 5. That's how most guys I know behave. Now, there's some men on the extreme who want every day to be a 10, and we both know men who have had a lot of 0 days. I've had a lot of 0 days, right?
Yeah.
But I would trade every 10 day. I would trade every 0 or 10 day to just have a 5. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where most men lean, is in the moderate. And the reason I continuously talk about girl world is because it pushes everything to those extremes of 0 or 10. And my question for you, and the question I have for the audience, the question I have for everyone is how do we get things closer to 5?
I think it's impossible.
You think so? Once
Yeah.
we've opened the canister,
It's Pandora's box has been opened.
there's no going back,
No.
right? Once people know what 10 looks like, they can't ever be okay with 5. Is that what we're looking towards?
Mhm.
Okay. Then let me present something your way. Can diversity exist in girl world? Because if you look at the group of popular girls, they're all the same way. You might have a Hispanic girl or a mixed girl in a group of like white girls, or hell, if you go to a black school, all the girls might be black and maybe there's like a white girl in the group, but they all think and behave the same way, right?
Mhm.
I never met a popular group of girls where like 2 of them were into artsy folk music and the other ones were into painting. Like, no, they all had the same
They're all the same.
identity, right? Whether that was real or not didn't matter. In their group, there was a single form identity. And we could take this back to hunter-gatherer days where like women needed to protect the group from outside threats, and that's like their way to protect the group. And I get that. But the question is, okay, let's say, Jeff, you're an alien in space and you've digested all of American culture and media, right? And I said, Jeff, who is a bigger proponent of diversity? Is it men or women? I think everybody and their mom, if I asked them that question, would say women. It's women who are pushing for refugees and women who are pushing for immigrants, women who push for diversity. Little Hermione Granger wants all the refugees to come to England, right? But in their own social circles, there's very little diversity. There's no diversity of thought, right?
I agree. It's true. You ain't going anywhere from it either. You can't break that.
You can't
Break out of it.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
So how then it sounds like we're stuck in cognitive dissonance, because how can we both live in a world that pushes diversity at every fucking corner? Every corner is diversity. And yet at our core, we refuse diversity of thought. How can we have a nation of hundreds of different cultures, religions, identities? Now we have different genders. Now we have everybody's different, but everybody's supposed to think the same?
I forget what airline I flew. It's either Southwest or Delta, but I'm getting on the flight. You know how you go on the little run the corridor before you get on the plane, and they've got their little signs up. And it was Delta, and I was in.
We love Delta,
and I was in Atlanta, coming from seeing my buddy Sean, and I'm at Atlanta Hartsfield, coming here, and I'm looking at these signs, and it's all about people. Oh, this person's in business class, and this person's you're back by the shitter, in row 35, whatever. But this person's black, and this person's Hispanic, and this person's Asian, and this person is Middle Eastern descent, and I'm like, these motherfuckers aren't hanging out with each other.
No.
There's no way these motherfuckers are hanging out with each other. Not happening.
They just did, guy was on Joe Rogan. I wish I could remember his name. He was talking about, do you think Amazon and Walmart and the US government give a fuck about diversity? No. The reason they like DEI is because it guarantees nobody unionizes. See, back in the day, let's go back to for some people, the good old days, Jeff. You had a group of warehouse workers, all Irish, right? All Irish. Boss starts fucking up. Well, the Irish boys are talking at work. And after work, they're going out for drinks together, right? They're getting a little drunk. And they're sitting there drunk talking about, man, our boss fucking sucks, man. We should band together against this fucker, right? We can do this. We drink together every day. We like each other. We trust each other. Let's unionize against this motherfucker. You go to an Amazon warehouse now today, these motherfuckers aren't hanging. You might have one or two guys that get along, but for the most part, these motherfuckers aren't going out to have a drink together. They're not meeting each other's families, right? There's a few occasions, and everybody likes to do the thing where they take what do they call it? The exception. There's always going to be one guy who's like, no, me and my black Amazon guy are best friends. It's like, yeah, you're the exception to the fucking rule, dude.
I can't stand when, and I was in corporate America for years. Your work family is the biggest crock of shit
eye roll
I've ever heard in my entire life. To say that you have a work wife is one of the most disrespectful things you could ever say to your actual wife ever.
I thought that was a joke. When I saw it on social media, I thought that was like a comedy sketch. I didn't realize people take that seriously.
If you say that you have a work wife, that means you don't love and respect your real wife enough.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Because again, I go back to my relationship. My wife would be insulted. She would laugh. Like she'd think it's funny, but deep down, she would be insulted that I was giving somebody else that label that she holds so dear. She loves saying that she's my wife, and I love being her husband.
My wife's Latina. If she heard I had a work wife, she'd cut that bitch.
It's true.
The fuck is she cut me
True.
too?
Well, dude, my wife's a nurse. She'll like boil hemlock and slip somebody something in their fucking
straight
tea
up.
and they'd be done. But
straight
so
up.
yeah, it's just to me, and then we'll move on because we kind of beaten this thing up. But the fact of the whole like we're together in this, and it's all like we're one is a crock of shit.
Yeah,
absolute crock of shit.
It can be if people are. Again, there has to be something that brings the people together.
Sure.
Right? There has to look, we can all be black, white, purple, green, whatever, but we need a unified identity.
I said this to Brandy last night, and I forget, something came up about teamwork or something. I said, one of the biggest terms, I can't stand it, teamwork makes the dream work. Fuck you. Seriously. Screw off. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's like one of those like motivational posters that people have like, and they're all like rowing in unison, like at the dentist's office that's up on the wall, whatever. You're like, oh, come on.
In rowing, teamwork does make the dream work.
Absolutely.
But all those rowers have a unified identity. They're rowers trying to win something. Basketball, football.
Absolutely.
You name it, right? You need a unified identity with a unified goal. The workers at Amazon have a unified goal of they want to get paid and go home. There's no teamwork there. I don't give a shit about your life or your day. I want to get paid more than you so I can go home faster and spend more money.
Well, I'll take it to another level. It's if I'm working at Amazon, I want to go in, I want to work, be paid a fair wage, and I want no one hindering that to happen. I don't want to hear other people's drama. I don't want a boss coming at me, micromanaging me. I want none of that at all. Let me do my thing, train me, pay me a fair wage, let me do my thing, and incentivize me to become better at my job.
Yeah.
Full stop.
To take it back to our previous episode, and we'll leave after this, but I really want to hear your opinion here. Do you think that's why all of our uniters get killed or the media makes them look like the bad guys, like Michael Jackson, right? Because Michael Jackson was a uniter, right? I don't give a fuck if you were purple. I don't give a shit. Michael Jackson was like the uniter. I don't need to know you. You like Michael Jackson? Yeah, me too. Sick. We are now united under Michael Jackson. And you saw what they did to him, right? And then what we just previously talked about with Charlie Kirk. He's a uniter. He united people under faith, identity, right? Do you think that's why all of our uniters either get publicly assassinated or assassinated in character?
I think it's because, and again, I personally, I wouldn't compare Charlie Kirk with Michael Jackson. And so I'm going to put Michael Jackson over here.
Why not? What's wrong with MJ? He's a uniter.
But he used to look at little boys' buttholes. Come on.
That's the thing, but that's not true.
No.
Have you gone back and looked at that?
The two guys went on the documentary.
Have you ever gone back and looked at that? Michael Jackson started talking about Palestine. Michael Jackson started talking about the rape of Africa, and then all of a sudden, the little boy was actually the son. Now I'm going to get in real trouble. You should really look into the man who reported on Michael Jackson, and then the media. Now that we know who the media is and how they assassinate people, go back and look at what Michael Jackson was saying about Palestine, and then look how very quickly all of a sudden somebody's son who knew Michael Jackson called him a pedophile.
I don't have the energy to go down that road with you right now because there's stuff I want to say.
On your own time. But point stands, uniters.
With Charlie Kirk, it was somebody, and it's, again, he's in the text messages with his transvestite partner, whatever they call it, cross-dressing partner, saying, I have a chance to, I'm going to take him out. Well, what motivated him to take Charlie Kirk out instead of getting up at UVU or what was the college?
Utah State, Utah Valley,
University of Southern Utah, Utah Valley University, Utah Valley University. Instead of taking him out, why don't you be more constructive? And if you have a difference of opinion with this man, get up in front of the microphone and talk to him about it. Instead of that, he became so frustrated with the messaging he was seeing about Charlie Kirk, he assassinated him.
I don't know who it is out there, but somebody or a group of somebodies seem very against us uniting, right? I think that's why my podcast had to be with you, right? If it was just two black guys sitting here talking about black issues or American issues, let's be real with us. Like, we would lose a huge part of our audience because people need to see it's the visual of they think that we should disagree, right? But we're united. There's somebody or something out there that seems to always want to eliminate anything that unites us. And that's what fears me about Girl World. So I don't want to beat it up too much. What constitutes fair and just in 2025?
Oof.
You made a post.
Oof.
You made a post about you gave it time. I appreciate you doing this, by the way. Much respect to you. You let the Charlie Kirk thing breathe, right? You said, I don't want to immediately post. I'm not here for a hot take. But you said, I think we should all be better. And it's a message that I share with you. And the first thing I said was, man, I want to be fair and just too. What does that look like in 25? In a world that's this unjust, in a world that's this unfair, what does fair and just look like?
Being a constructive listener, listening to people, listening to them, but also them having the person you're listening to, if you have a difference of opinion, it's not vicious, hateful rhetoric that they're spewing. It's, hey, I disagree with you because I think this about abortion, about immigration, about the president of the United States, whatever. There's just that you have a well-educated opinion.
Yeah.
And you're willing to bring it to the table to someone to have a talk about it.
Yes.
There's people that, one person that was talking shit about you on TikTok,
My bad.
I reached out to her and said, hey, why don't you come on the podcast? We'd love to talk to you. She ends up putting me on blast, and I put my phone, I made the mistake of putting my cell phone number on it, saying, hey, give me a call. Let's talk. We'll give you a safe space and let's chat. She put that up, and forces, unbeknownst to me, had that taken down. I had nothing to do with it, but people in my little circle that were defending me told me afterwards they had it taken down, that they reported that over and over and over again until it was removed. But this girl who totally, I respect her opinion, and I was saying, hey, we're giving you a platform. Come here and let's talk about it. She was in the comments saying, LOL, I would never go on their podcast. That's what, to me, is not fair and just. Fair and just is her saying, hey, Jeff Fargo reached out to me. He's got this podcast with Brandon from Vegas. I'm talking to them right now about going on. One of the people wrote in the comments when it was still up, she said, you better bring people with you to protect you. From physical violence. That's where it was going. And and again, I've made the mistakes. I had posts I put up, I've taken down that I don't feel good about. But now I'm like, we need to be better. We just need to be, so to be more fair and just, it's acting every day in a way that is going to bring people together. And I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to fail miserably every day. But guess what? When I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to have it be reflective more in my content. I have reached out with Fargo Talks, shameless plug. I reached out to TPUSA.
What's Fargo Talks?
Well, it's a podcast located here in Las Vegas with an entrepreneurial slant. And we talk about 5 million people a month-ish listen to me. And I'm getting out of, actually, because of what's happened now, I'm not doing porn stars anymore on Fargo Talks. That's going to be downrange. I'm going to do it with Chris Chansky. It's a better audience for that. I'm going to be doing now much more celebrities, people that have an opinion and want to talk about it, entrepreneurs that have just a story about how they got there, and they're being very open and vulnerable. That how did I get over some type of big thing that I got kicked in the stomach for, and how did I get over it to make me successful now in my business or as a person? And that's what Fargo Talks is. And that's what I've really done a pivot now because of what's happened. I'm reaching out to and have connections with TPUSA, and I'm going to be getting guests on from TPUSA. But I'm always going to offer a counterpoint that if whatever the counter is of TPUSA, if there's people that want to come on and talk to me and defend what they're saying, that's okay. I want that to happen.
You have a fish, man. This is why I like letting you go loose. Ask or listen to any big podcaster. You just said, I am open to anybody on the other side coming to talk and share their viewpoint. That girl you mentioned earlier, she didn't want to talk. She just wanted to be angry. Charlie Kirk said, I'll have anybody on my podcast that wants to come talk. They always turn me down. I invite Democrats and liberals. I invite all these people on my podcast. They turn me down. Remember during the election, people got mad at Joe Rogan for having Trump on. And he came out and said, I invited Kamala Harris onto the podcast. She wouldn't come on because I wouldn't let her edit it.
She wanted to control everything. is what it was.
So,
yeah.
And again, this is where I remind the audience, I am a moderate Democrat at heart. But I'm more important than my political standing is I think I'm a morally just person. So when I see people from my party refusing to talk, using hateful rhetoric, what is fair and just about me playing the 50-50 game? Brandon, if you say something bad about Democrats, you have to say something bad about Republicans. Well, no. What if my Democrat friends are doing worse things than my Republican friends? Am I supposed to am I supposed to make up stories? Right? Well, you and I would love to have people who oppose our viewpoint on. They don't want to talk, Jeff. They don't want to talk. They want violence. They want problems.
I've had people that I was talking to, I won't say who, about going on their podcast. And they were all gung-ho about having me on their podcast and all that. Ever since the Kirk thing happened, now I'm being ghosted.
You ran into girl world, buddy.
So it's wild, right? And again, all I can do from my little world and my little podcasts is do my thing, do it the best I can, admit when I'm wrong, pivot, make things better as best I can. But right now, I'm giving TPUSA the opportunity that if they have folks here in town or people coming in to visit in town and they want to get in front of an audience of over 5 million people a month, audience reach, that they can come on Fargo Talks. But that same invitation is to anyone that has an opposing viewpoint. As long as you can articulate your thoughts in a constructive, respectful manner, you have a seat on Fargo Talks.
Have you... Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize... I told you last episode, or actually before it, that I didn't realize Jewish people had so many different identities, right?
Sex.
That sounds like sex.
S-E-C-T.
Yeah, I'm not saying Jewish sex.
S-E-C-T-S.
Yeah, thank you for saving me there.
Sex.
Sex, right? It's like black people say ask instead of axe. It's a thing.
You can say it, I can't.
Yeah.
That's like the N-word. I can't do it.
Please don't.
Can't do it.
Please don't. Jewish sex. A lot of people don't realize that conservatives have a bunch of different groups. And as a podcast lover myself and as a debate lover myself, right? What drew me, again, as a moderate Democrat towards more conservative debates is I noticed that Democrats don't debate each other. There's again, and the irony is these are the people calling other people fascists. There's a unified identity. This is what we believe, right? Go ahead and search on the internet right now for Democratic debates. There's plenty of Charlie Kirk debates Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens. All of these people debate each other. Joe Rogan talks to this person, right? They're willing, and there's a reason why young men are being drawn to that side. Young men seek conflict. Young men seek to challenge their ideas, right? And there's a reason why, again, you're seeing women so heavily in the other side, where they don't want their ideas challenged, where they don't want... Girl world says, don't fucking challenge my ideas or you're attacking me. If you challenge my ideas, you're offending me. If you challenge my ideas, that's a microaggression.
You're a fascist.
You're a fascist.
You're a narcissist. You're a pedophile.
You're a narcissist. If you challenge my ideas, you're a racist, a sexist. Yeah. Ultimately, if you challenge my ideas, you're a bad person and I must destroy you. That's why young men are cleaning to the other side, because they want to hear what you're talking about. I want to hear a challenge of ideas. I want you to sit here. I want to ask you questions. I want to ask you hard questions, and I want to hear what you have to say, right? So first off, bravo to you for being willing to ask those questions. Bravo to you for being willing to lose some of your audience and some of your financial gains to stand up for what you believe in. And bravo for you for inviting people who disagree with you to come speak. Shame on them for lacking the moral fiber to come do so.
Thanks. Why do I do it? The reason why I do it is this. I want to be a good example to my kids. It comes back to being a dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to show my kids that it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay not to be perfect. It's okay if somebody comes into my podcast and we don't agree with each other, and we have a spirited debate and we agree to disagree on things. That's okay. I want to bring that back, and that my car's not getting firebombed afterwards, or I'm not getting shot.
Death threats.
And death threats afterwards.
Kim Kardashian, far more popular with women than Charlie Kirk. Would you agree?
Yes.
Whose kids are you think going to be prouder of their parents' legacy?
Charlie Kirk.
Interesting, right? Kim Kardashian's kids are going to grow up in a world where she fucks black dudes to get famous. She can't delete those videos, right? She can't protect her kids from other kids making fun of her and being like, oh yeah, that's fucking Kardashian's kid, right? I find that interesting. I find it interesting, the heroes of girl world, the Kylie Jenners. Do you know anything about Rihanna?
No. Oh, she's a music person.
Had a kid, stopped making music. Had a kid, hasn't made a record since.
Good for her.
She's not popular, and she's
good for her.
She's out of girl world.
I love that though. I love that for her. She's a mom.
Yeah.
And I have great respect for someone that does that.
Look, I'm not a fan of Rihanna's music. I'm not saying she's bad. I'm not a fan. There's a huge gap between. I have so much respect because she gave up. Rihanna could have been the most famous woman on earth if she wanted to. She's beautiful. She has the right complexion, right?
She's not too black.
Which is so fucking true. But you know what? No. You know what? I'm going to take that back because Meg Thee Stallion is way more popular than I ever thought. But no, Meg Thee Stallion definitely has a ceiling on her popularity. There's definitely a ceiling on it. But my point is, and what Jeff is saying for any, they're going to try to take you out of fucking context. And it's going to piss me off.
I don't care.
What Jeff is saying is that
I don't care.
Dark-skinned black people do not get treated with the same fairness as black people of mixed race because other cultures are less accepting. And he's 100% correct, and black people will confirm this. Okay?
White people think darker-skinned black people are more intimidating.
They 100% do. And it's not just white people. Asian people have them taken out of their...
Asian people.
Asian people have them taken... Ask Disney why China removes them from the cover of their movies. So it's not just a white thing. It's a cultural thing, and he's right. Point is, Rihanna did the thing that you and I are always respecting people for. She gave up immense wealth and power for her family. And that is the most commendable, respectable thing possible, right? So shout out to Rihanna.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, Delta Airlines, the best airline, and we all know it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Why?
Clean, somewhat techie in the cabin. The people are wonderful. The flight attendants are great. It's harmonious. And also, there's no fighting. There's no yelling and screaming. If you're going on, and I'll fight this one with anybody, I'll defend this one. Spirit, Frontier, Allegiant are the Greyhound buses of airlines.
They're the KB Homes of airlines.
They're the KB Homes. You just really niched us down because no one's a realtor. There's no clue what the hell that means. You really just niched us out of that can't even be a clip.
There's two guys. No. There's two guys. No. Keep that shit in the clip because there's two people out there who have flown Spirit and bought a KB and know exactly what we're talking about.
That one clip could be retargeted to the LVR membership. That's about it. That's about it with that one. Okay. Jesus Christ. KB. True, but oh my God. And so it's just it's just a better experience on Delta. And they have their lounges are wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it. Atlanta Hartsfield Airport, they have grab and goes. So it's always at the center of the spoke. There's A, B, C, D, E there. You can go to the center of the spoke. And if you're just flying, you're cruising, you're trying to get to your other gate, you go in, you show them your Amex card, your platinum card or whatever, and you show them your boarding pass, and you could pick a sandwich, some little carrots or chips, a drink, and you're gone with under 3 minutes, you're gone.
100%.
Delta.
It's not just the flight attendants and the people on the flight. A couple of years ago, me and my wife flew to Chicago on Spirit last second. Everybody, we all judge. I don't care who you are. We all judge. When I'm waiting in line for my Spirit airline, I just look at the people hopping on my flight. They all look fucking miserable. Like before I even get on the plane, their misery starts to wash over me. We flew Delta to Europe a couple years back, and oh my God, the energy, the people around just felt so nice, and everybody was just like, we fly Delta,
Brandon,
right?
That's the closest thing you're ever going to have to white privilege.
Delta Airlines
is flying Delta Airlines to Europe.
Delta Airlines is my white privilege. God damn, that's so true. Because look, man.
It's true.
Look, when you're on Delta, they make you feel special, right? Like all the flights are the same. We're all going to the same place at the same time, right? But when you fly Delta, you just feel better about yourself. You feel like you're in a higher quality. It's like when you take that first drive into Summerlin and you take that little turn around the corner and you see the Red Rocks and you see the Whole Foods and you're like, fuck, are these people really better than me? It's that feeling when you fly on Delta, man.
I don't care about you accepting collaborations on any further clips, but I'm going to ask for one per episode. One clip per episode, if you'll do it. And the white privilege line is going to get clipped. You have to collab on that one. I don't care who you are. That one you've got to share. It's true. But it's also, and again, I've flown all the budget airlines, right? It's just a different class of person that's flying on those. And actually, when you run the numbers after you get hit with all the extra fees, it's actually not much more to fly on Delta. It's maybe $100, $150, which is a lot of money. I get that, but the experience you are paying for when you fly Delta, and especially like it's going to run out this year, but from traveling to see my mom and going to see Brandy, I've been for the past 2 years Silver Medallion. It's wonderful.
Silver Medallion.
Silver Medallion.
Oh, so you have extra white privilege. Talk to me about this.
It's not like clan privilege, but it's up there. That whenever, I'd say 80% of the time when I'm flying back to my little town of Canandaigua, New York to go see my dad, I would fly usually through Detroit. They push me through is one of Delta's hubs. 80% of the time when I fly from here to there, I already know the exit row seats to get, I fly in the back. I don't do Comfort Plus. I go in the back and there's ones, I get giant leg room. It's exit rows in the way back are wonderful. But then when I go from Detroit to Rochester, New York, 80% of the time I'm bumped up to first class.
Wow.
It's wonderful. An hour and a half, but you know what? It gets me ready to go see my dad.
How are you getting bumped up to first class? What are you doing?
Because I'm Silver Medallion.
Oh.
And because I'm white. And because I'm white.
No, they just know you're Jewish secretly.
They just know I'm, Jeff Fargo, that's a white name. Let's Google him. Oh, Jesus, he's as white as Wonder Bread. First class.
I need to get on this Silver Medallion thing, man. We got a flight coming up to Europe, and I want to get on the good shit.
Well, they've changed their requirements now is you get medallion status. There's silver, gold, and platinum, I believe. It's how much money you spend. So just to get Silver Medallion, you have to spend like $5,000 on yourself in tickets for a year. It's a lot. So like that's why like for this year, I'm done. I'm just not spending much money anymore.
Yeah.
But in the past, when I was going to see my mom in Florida, when Brandy was in Florida, I was going once, twice a month sometimes for a year, for 2 years.
I think we can finish with this.
White
I think
privilege.
the ultimate I think the ultimate difference between Delta and Spirit is, would you ever hang out in a Spirit lounge before your flight?
A Spirit lounge is like the cigarette-friendly slots area at McCarran Airport. That's a Spirit lounge.
Bro, where they huddle. If you've never flown to Vegas, let me try to put this in a picture for you. So there's this box in McCarran Airport, and it's like a zoo because it's got glass doors so you can see inside as you walk by. And it's just a bunch of people who look exactly like you think they look like.
Gray, leathery skin.
Chain smoking cigarettes, gambling on machines while we all watch them like a petting zoo. Yeah. And when I think of the Spirit Airlines, that's exactly what I think of.
That's the Spirit Frontier and Allegiant Lounge. It's like going to the San Diego Zoo and watching chimpanzees hurl shit at each other at the monkey in the monkey area.
You want to know what's funny? If there was a Spirit airline lounge, it would be packed. Because that'd be the lounge where you could chain smoke cigarettes, gamble, just get ready for that fucking flight.
But there'd be people, there'd be bar fights. Like, it would be just belligerent alcoholism, people doing funnels, like beer bongs.
You're making Spirit, listen to me, Spirit. Create a lounge and make it like a frat house in America. I'm telling you, numbers. You'll do numbers on that flight. Play Jelly Roll the whole fucking time.
The whole time, Jelly Roll.
Jeff, thank you for being one of the few people willing to have these conversations. When people are watching this, they don't understand how much you have to risk talking like this, right? Because at the end of the day, this camera is going to turn off and people are going to go watch my food videos and they're going to watch housing. And they're going to forget that I ever yapped my yap, right? But you run multiple podcasts and people judge you off the things you say. So you willing to come on here and talk about topics that maybe aren't the most important in your world, but you know they're important to me. I appreciate you, genuinely. It's why I'll stick up for you over anybody, right? Because trust me when I say this, no one wants me to be having these conversations and you welcome them. So I respect you for that.
Anytime. Ditto, my friend. It feels good. It's just nice it's cathartic. It's therapeutic to talk like this. And it's nice to have someone to do it with. And our friendship has just grown deep.
Yeah.
Like, I would cross an ocean of fire for you. And for Chanel. Like,
I would be your Erica Kirk.
Yeah.
I'd be your Erica Kirk.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. No, I love you, my friend. And I love doing this. We're going to keep doing it. Things happen for a reason. And so what's happened now has kind of changed in a good way, the direction that we're going with things, but we're still going to have fun in doing this. But I think that there's just now issues that have been brought up that we can go hard in the paint on. And that we're articulate, we're respectful to each other, we can differ with opinions, and we can still move things forward in a way that we can both walk out of here when we're done with our heads held high, that this was good.
Oh, and just as a warning to our audience, whenever Erica Kirk shows up at a college campus, we will be talking about it. There will be clips of it, and we're going to be relentless with this woman. So stay tuned, hold on to your horses, and still not canceled.
Still not canceled. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, man.